Hey everybody, welcome to Winter 2026 Business Communication. I'll be your instructor for the next 10 weeks, and I'll be doing videos of this nature every week so you can get plugged into what's going on with the assignments, the discussion questions, team activity, and so forth. I try to address all of your questions each week in this video, so please watch the videos first before reaching out to me with questions. If your question is not addressed by my video, please send me an email, text me, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours during the working week. If it's a weekend, I'll get back to you on Monday at the latest. So let's get at this video, talk about what's happening. I do have some information on your landing page. This here is where you'll see the videos of the week and any other posts I have. So first important is you will not have a required textbook for this class. I'm not a big fan of textbooks because once they're published, they are starting to lose their shelf life. No pun intended. And so what I like to give is thought leaders in business right now in a video format. I've heard from students over the years that this is a little bit more easy to consume the content and understand than reading a textbook. And then what you'll do is treat it like a chapter out of a textbook and respond to the discussion questions each week. I will talk about that more in just a few minutes. Also, there's no dedicated Zoom session. It's not a remote class. It's asynchronous. I might meet with the project managers from time to time. Now, I'll address that later also in another video. But that's the only time I probably will have to meet with somebody on your team. I'll be posting videos, I already mentioned, like this each week. All assignments will be submitted through the online Dropbox. Please do not send me something in email. I need something that's in the ecosystem of D2L that has a timestamp. You'll also have two discussion questions. I've already alluded to that. We'll talk about it in a few seconds. And also finally, this class is a 50-50 split, what I call it, is 50% of the class is individual. So the first 4 weeks, you're just doing individual assignments, learning about your own communication style. And the last 5 weeks of the class is when you're on a team. Because it's nearly, I'd say it is impossible to learn about business communication if you're not working with a team. By week 2, I'll be forming teams. So if there's somebody that you've worked with before, and maybe another class at PCC, say, hey, I want to work with Joan. Or maybe you like somebody's style of how they're responding to discussion questions and their activity in the class. Hey, I want to work with Patrick. I will meet all of your requests. Teams will be about 5 per. If you do not send me your request, then you're just getting committed to random draw. And that can be sometimes dicey. I imagine many of you have already been with a call-based team. Okay, so let's look how the class is formatted. If you go to each week, let's go up to overview of the class. Business communication, I've posted the same thing on the announcement board here. So students enter classrooms in different places. I want to make sure you get good information. And then here's the course syllabus. So this is everything you need to know about the class, all the college information, the assignments, and if they're individual or team. So that's important. The next one is the course timeline. This is where you're going to see when things are due, and also what the assignment is, and finally the point value to each. Okay? And then, oops, I hit the wrong button there, so I'm going to go all the way out. These are all the classes I teach. And sorry about this. This is a little dizzying, I know. And the last thing on overview, I want to talk about 2 things. Rubric, I'm looking for camera ready work. If whatever you produce for me is something that you could give your manager next week, or maybe an investor tomorrow, or take to your team at a meeting, that is perfect work product. Now, if it has some tweaks, it's not ready to be shown, but it's not bad. That's a B, and C is going back to the drawing board. We won't talk about D's and F's because we're not going to do those here in this class, okay? And each week when I have examples I can give you, I'll show you examples done by prior students so you know where the bar is of what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. And finally, I see a couple names of people I've worked with before in other classes, so thank you for signing up for another class with me. But, oh, what happened to my bio here? It's not coming up. I have a bio. I will post my bio. Bio talks about my past. I was a restaurant developer for many years. Then I went into a national tech company and was a national sales manager. And right now, outside teaching, I teach at 4 colleges. I also run a consulting firm. What I do is I work with entrepreneurs, launching their businesses in ideation and scale phase. And also I do professional development for larger organizations. So what I'm sharing with you is things are happening right now. And I will fix this by the end of day. Okay, now let's talk about week 1. Oh, first, here's a team tab. Once I form teams, each of you will be in a team. So team 1, this will be your communication box. So what I'll do is I'll post your names and your email addresses so you can start contacting each other. But also this is a way you're going to communicate. Now, if you choose, and I should take that back, this is the way you communicate to begin with. Now, once you realize that maybe this is not the best system for your team, that's fine. I don't care where you communicate as long as it's successful for you. I want to give you a starting place, okay? Now, getting back to content. That's teams now, week 1. So week 1, we're talking about appreciation and recognition. I always have a high-level thought for you to think about. And then the first video is Karen Eber. And Karen Eber is going to talk about storytelling versus sharing data. And it's a fabulous talk. It's one of my favorites. I've had it for a couple of years. And what you'll do is you watch the video. And then, let's say we'll go in here first. And you watch her video. Now, some students don't like the fact the window doesn't fit the frame. If that's the case, just go up here to discussion, and then you'll be able to look at it full frame. So there's no going back and forth. For me, this is better. I don't like the frame that doesn't fit. But then you go into Karen's name, and you post your first original thread that's authored by you. It has to be substantive and qualitative. Can't be I agree with what Karen said and out. It has to have some substance to it. And that's the first thread you need to post. Then 2 more posts you do with peers. So there's reading other peers posting, making sure you're seeing other people's thoughts, and then you post 2 threads of 2 different peers. That's full grade consideration. So if you do those 3, you're golden. Now remember also in this class, everything is due on Sunday, especially, but there's one caveat with an assignment the first week. I'll talk about that in a minute. So if you don't get your discussion questions done, all 3 posts by Sunday, you can't go back and do them in prior weeks. It's like coming into week 2 at a class, sitting down and saying, let's talk about week 1. It's over. So make sure you get your discussion questions. And I tailor discussion questions so they match what we're talking about in the week, and they'll help you with your assignments. Okay, so let's go back to coursework, content. And that's the first discussion question. The second discussion question is it is one of those discussion questions that you're wondering, why did he post this? Give it time. At the very beginning, you're going to say, it doesn't make sense. But by the time you get halfway through the video, you go, I get it. It's all about active listening. And we really listen to people. It's a fabulous way to deliver a message. And then the first 2 assignments is the video introduction. And this is twofold. One is you need to do it because I want to get to know you. I won't meet most of you outside of this introduction. 60 seconds. Address some of these questions so I get to understand your interests. But also at PCC, this is an enrollment guarantee agreement. In the world of AI, we've been facing as an institution chatbots signing up for classes in which we are seeing financial aid fraud. So the video with you addressing questions I'm asking you is the best way now that I can prove that you are actually in the class. If you don't do this by the 9th, you'll be dropped from the class. And that's a bummer. I don't want to do that. So let's just get those videos done. And the other assignment, I like something that's very easy lifting in the very first week, get you acclimated to the term, is appreciation letter. And I've heard from students that going into the assignment, it's probably the easiest assignment they thought they'd ever have to do, but then when they're done, they go, wow, that was tough. Appreciation is the number 1 reason people leave their jobs right now. It's a very simple thing to do, recognize, appreciate, show gratitude, and all of those are different. But we don't do it. I don't think it's because people don't care about each other. It's just we get in these busy lanes in management trying to take care of the employee that doesn't want to do well, and we don't give enough fuel to the employees that want to do well. So what you're going to do is send a letter of appreciation to somebody that you feel should be recognized, but you've taken for granted. You weren't mean, it's just you've looked past them. This is not, it doesn't have to be a professional work. It could be somebody like your mom or dad, or a personal exchange. And as you do this, you create this letter, however you want to send it. Most students have found successful is actually sending a tangible letter instead of an email, or leaving it on a desk, or leaving it on a pillow, or what have you. That letter you write, please don't send to me. That's a personal exchange between you and that person. What I want to see is to complete this assignment, I want you to write a 2 to 3 page paper, maybe 2 with single spaced, explaining who you chose. Of all the people you could choose, why did you choose this person? The delivery method. How'd you give it to them? Did you put it on their pillow? Did you put it on like the dining room table? The process you went through. I've had students say, well, I started to sit down and do this and it got really hard and I had some emotions to it. And I've had other students say, I approached this like a college written paper and I realized it shouldn't be a college written paper. And how did you go through that whole process of writing a letter and from beginning to end? If you've heard back from the recipient, it might be hard because this is the first week, but if you've heard back before you submit this assignment, what was their response? You'll be surprised. Some people will be very emotional. Others I've heard from students say, hey, are you okay? Like, you wouldn't do this unless you had an illness. And that's why we're doing this assignment. Appreciation is a muscle we need to exercise. The more we do it, the more it will be something we do when we need to do it on time. And then finally, you're just addressing how do we get here? How has appreciation been the number one reason people leave their job? That's over benefits, that's over compensation, that's over any kind of entry packages for hire, all of it. Okay, cool. And then as we go on, week 2, same thing, same tempo and theme. Okay? I think I've shared enough with you to this point. Please watch these videos. And I'm looking forward to the term. If you have questions, reach out anytime, and I'll see you online. Take care.